Good morning. We're here again to talk about bankruptcy. I'm Brandy Austin, and this is Seth Crosland. We're from the Brandy Austin Law Firm, and today we're going to talk about bankruptcy questions that people have actually asked, come in with, and we're going to try to make it fun. So, without further ado, I'll be the first consult. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Okay, so I'd like to file bankruptcy, but I do have this.
Okay, so that looks like a big box of money.
Yeah, I don't want to give it up.
Okay, well, where'd you get it?
Well, I am a stripper.
Okay, that's fine. And so what we can do is...
But a classy one.
A classy one. That's great. So the overriding rule that I have with bankruptcies is to be honest.
Okay.
And we can deal with everything as long as we know what's going on.
Okay.
Now, this big box of money is not exempt. Okay.
But I don't want to give it up.
But you don't want to get up. So what we have to do is we have to plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we can make this big box of money exempt, but it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of doing. You could open a 401k, an IRA, something for your retirement that'll, you can't strip forever.
That's true.
So,
why is all that so long?
Right. So it would be a good idea for you to probably open an IRA and or a 401k, something like that. And then we could make that work in the bankruptcy.
Okay. So I did pay taxes.
Oh, good.
But this is my leftovers, and I don't always trust banks.
I understand. And bank accounts under Texas exemptions are not exempt anyway. Now the trustee is going to give you some leeway for living expenses. They're not. If you have $300 in your bank account, $1,000 in your bank account, they're not going to do anything with that. But if you're looking at $10,000, $12,000, then we're going to have to do some planning. And
I may or may not have a couple more boxes like this.
Okay.
So can I just put it all in a 401k, or is there like limits?
There is a limit as far as how much you can invest
Per year
in a 401k. That's probably a question for an accountant that you need to ask.
Okay.
But but you can definitely start a 401k. I don't want to give you a figure because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. We're going to go on to question number 2. So let me reset. Good morning. I brought some of my members of my household with me. This is Elsa.
Hi, Elsa.
She's a queen.
Oh, she is
Right.
a queen.
Anna, she's had a lot of work done. This is Uncle Fester. And this is Captain Courageous. So these, the 3 girls, I'm actually responsible for them. They live with me. They're not my children.
It's fine.
And Uncle Fester, he has some special needs. He's had them all his life. And different family members throughout his life have taken care of him. And I took him on this time. So none of them, I'm not married to any of them, and none of them are my children, but I do spend money on them, and those expenses have really taken a toll, especially the medical expenses. And so I feel like it may be time to file bankruptcy, but it's just me. I'm unmarried, no kids. I just take care of my family.
Sure.
So how will that work in bankruptcy?
So, okay, in bankruptcy, we go by household membership, okay? That doesn't mean necessarily that wife, kids, husband, wife, 2 kids. It's every member that's living in your house, okay? So it can be your Uncle Fester. It could be the 3 kids you're raising that are your sisters or whoever's. And it could be the other person, Captain Courageous there. If they're all living with you and you're supporting them, we can use them on your means test to, depending on, if it'll determine the median income for the means test.
Okay.
If any of them, now, if say Captain Courageous is working, has a job, part-time job.
Uncle Fester actually has a part-time job through one of the Helping Hands nonprofits that allows for special needs people to take on small small jobs to give them something to do.
And does he contribute any of that money to help the household?
Well, it's minimum wage, you know, contribute to the household? No, but he does buy
anything.
He buys his, you know, he'll want food or a special treat or something like that, and we always allow it.
Okay, so typically we'll, if any of the members of the household are working, it also goes, say, for if you're married and all of your debt is before you were married and you wanted to file, wife, it doesn't do her any good to file, so you file singly, we're going to need to declare all the income in the house.
Okay.
And if Uncle Fester is contributing any kind of money to the household expenses, we need to declare that too. It's not really going to affect much, but you know, we'd have to declare everything.
Okay. And so if he files taxes on his own each year,
Right.
Does that affect the bankruptcy?
No.
Okay.
No. It won't. The bankruptcy won't affect anyone that's not filing. We just have to disclose all the information.
Okay. I also have a roommate.
Okay.
I don't support the roommate other than to provide a room, and in exchange, the roommate actually cleans the house.
Okay.
So it's just a trade. There's no money exchange.
Right.
So how would that be a person in the household?
Do you provide that person with food and that kind of thing, or does she pay for the food herself?
She pays for her own food, and sometimes she'll take some food out of the refrigerator. We're not too picky. But
Right. So again, if she contributes any monetarily to the household, we'd have to disclose that. Otherwise, we could count her as a member of the household. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we are going to reset for number 3. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love animals.
I can tell.
And you know, I have taken it on to care for them for my life.
Okay.
That's my life's work. I brought an additional selection of animals that are really important to me. I want you to understand, you know, what it is that I do. I provide food and shelter for some of these exotic animals, and so the cost of doing this has really taken a toll on my finances because, you know, I had some credit card issues last year, and I just haven't been able to recover. Now, these pets and taking care of them are my life's calling. So I don't want to change that. I don't want to give it up, but I am really drowning in debt, and I need help.
Now, you said it's your life's calling. Do you make money off of this?
Oh,
this
goodness,
venture?
no. I don't allow anyone to, you know, come see them or pay for it. I mean, there's nothing. They were all injured at some point or sick, and I just took them on.
Okay.
Just because I just don't feel like we should euthanize.
Sure. So they're just basically your pets.
They are my pets.
Okay.
But
Now,
some are exotic and
right.
quite costly.
We can exempt pets in the bankruptcy. So you're going to get to keep your pets. As far as the costs go, we can deduct reasonable costs when we do your expenses. We can use reasonable costs for pet care. I mean, it has to be reasonable.
So I have some saltwater pets though.
Okay.
And those take a saltwater tank.
Okay.
Is that something that could be reasonably deducted?
Well, we can exempt it.
Okay.
Yes. Now, you know, we're going to look at the whole picture, of course, when we look at your income, and it probably not, if it makes a difference. Now, what do you do for a living?
I'm a veterinarian.
Okay. So, are you married?
I am.
Okay. Any kids?
2.
2 kids. Okay. So what we would do, we would determine your income from that, and then we would deduct the expenses. If it's questionable, you know, we have to use reasonable amount for the pet care. If it's $10,000 a month, the trustee may look at that and say that's not reasonable.
Well, I mean, I'm not just a regular veterinarian. I help people who can't usually afford veterinary care, so my fees aren't as high, and so I donate a lot of my time.
So you're kind of a pro bono vet.
Yeah,
if you will.
Yeah, I do ask that they just pay what they can.
Right.
Just because it does cost money for some of the things that I use, the medications.
Sure. Well, it probably, the income and the expenses, it shouldn't be a problem, but we'll look at all of that. And you'll definitely get to keep your pets through the pet exemption.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Great, I am so excited. Okay, we are going to go to our last and final set. Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
These are my babies.
Okay, are they loaded?
They are not loaded.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Okay.
Not only do I have, and these are just a selection, I have a wide range, but
Okay.
I also not just take these to the gun show, I go to this gun show.
Nice.
Right, okay, so I'm a bodybuilder as well.
Fair.
So I have several questions.
Right.
I cannot give up. Okay, I only brought 2, but I have 10.
You have 10?
I have 10. This is my hobby. It's my hobby.
Okay.
And I don't want to give these up.
Okay. Well, you won't have to. Now, okay. So, and we'll have to explain a little bit about Texas exemptions and federal exemptions because there are 2 different states. Now, that doesn't really help you because you have 10 guns. Federal exemptions have a wild card exemption that is a certain amount of money based on whether you're married or single. And if we can determine how much the guns are worth, then, you're terrifying me with that thing. We can determine how much the guns are worth. We could potentially exempt them using federal exemptions. If not, then it's going to take some bankruptcy planning, and you may, have to sell them.
Sell my guns.
Yeah.
Try to sell them to family.
And well, you can, but then we'd have to wait a period of time before we file the bankruptcy.
Can I sell them to people who are like family?
Well, they're not family.
They are not.
So you could sell them to them. Yes.
Not all blood is thicker than water.
Right, and then we'd have to wait a period of time before we file. But we could, with proper planning and proper execution. Well, I don't like saying that with guns, but we could make it work.
Okay. So on to my second hobby is bodybuilding.
Okay.
I frequently bring these bad boys to the gun show.
Okay.
And when I do, I sometimes win.
Okay.
There is a prize I am sure I'm going to get, and I do not want to give that ever.
Okay. So there's a rule in bankruptcy called the windfall rule.
Mm-hmm.
And it states that within 6 months of the date of filing, 6 months after the date of filing, within 6 months of the date of filing, if you come into a prize, you win the lottery, inheritance, something like that, we need to disclose that to the court, to the trustee. You may not be able to keep it. We'll have to determine. Okay, if we have enough, exemptions to exempt it, we'll do that. Now, if you get it prior to our filing, you win it say next week, and then we file in 2 months. With proper planning, again, going back to planning, we can make that money so that you can keep that money.
Okay. Now, this planning that you keep talking about, is that something I can do on my own? Would you recommend?
Absolutely, you can do it on your own, but I can assist you with give you suggestions on what you can do.
Okay, so I can't just open a new savings account and put it in there and call it plan.
No, because the bank accounts in Texas are not exempt, so that won't work.
What if I go spend it on more guns?
Well, then we're going to still have the issue of having the guns and have to.
Can I sell the gun? Can I pawn the guns and then go get them after 6 months?
Negative. You can't do that. The trustee will look at that and not like that.
So I'm really going to have to sell
Right.
8 of them.
Right. And unless we can use the wild card exemption to
Save them.
yeah, and then depending on the value of the guns, we might be able to do that.
Okay.
Now, full disclosure is important in bankruptcy, okay? So letting us know everything, not hiding anything is the most important thing you can do. Bankruptcy, the trustee, United States trustee falls under the Department of Justice, so they can put you in federal prison if you don't disclose, and if we commit bankruptcy fraud.
I'm definitely not having my kids in prison.
Yeah, we don't want to commit any kind of fraud. So we want to do everything the right way.
I must tell you, I was hunting with this one, and I accidentally shot someone. And there is a civil case pending, not a criminal. It was just a complete accident.
Okay.
There is a civil case pending. And you said full disclosure now. Now, is that something that we'll have to add?
We'll have to list it in the Statement of Financial Affairs. There's a section for pending lawsuits, so we'll have to list that.
So if I get a judgment against me, do you think maybe I should just wait to file bankruptcy?
Either way, it doesn't matter. It can be if it is a dischargeable debt, it can be discharged even though the judgment comes later.
Oh.
Okay, so
because it's pending.
Because it's pending.
And I've listed it.
And you've listed it.
So it's really important to just, even if like I maybe rear-ended somebody, it's important to tell you all of
Absolutely, yes. So we can list everything and disclose everything. Now there are with the debts, sometimes something will pop up, maybe a medical bill or something that wasn't listed, and what would happen in the past is attorneys would file a motion to reopen the case, file the debt, and that costs $300 and takes the court's time. The court has basically said any debt that was owed prior to the filing of the bankruptcy that's non-dischargeable will be discharged even if it's not listed, as long as it's not listed was an accident.
Okay.
So
all right.
we'll get it discharged.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Seth. Those are our scenarios. And as we've mentioned before, it's really important to consult with a bankruptcy attorney regarding your specific bankruptcy questions, because there are so many different things that are in each person's life, and those can all affect bankruptcy in one way or another. But with the proper planning and the proper guidance, we can help you keep most of what you have, or at least try to keep most of what you have, or find a reasonable solution that works for you. So please give us a call at 817-841-9906 or visit us online at www.brandyaustinlaw.com. Brandy like the wine, Austin like the city, law like what we're doing here. And we will see you next week for Celebrity Bankruptcies. Have a great day. Bye.